quicker and you can be authorized. Actually, there are certification, there are courses to teach you how to be a capital handler.
不见得说啊，我现在去学了这个编程，我接下来就一定要做 developer， 这个肯定不是的。
If you understand what people want and how you get what you give what people want, and you have your programming skills, then basically you're an all-rounder.
Well, Chicken Warrior is my creation. I created him, and it was the inspiration of Goku and Marvel.
Barbie is one of my sister's favorite dolls. I want to put Barbie into my project, so my sister Flora will enjoy watching my project.
be a hacker, you can be an authorized hacker. There are certification, there are courses to teach you how to be a ethical hacker.
不见得说啊，我现在去学了这个编程，我接下来就一定要做 developer， 这个肯定不是的。
If you understand what people want and how you get what you give what people want, and you have your programming skills, then basically you're an all-rounder.
Well, Chicken Warrior is my creation. I created him, and it was the inspiration of Goku and Mario.
Barbie is one of my sister's favorite dolls. I want to put Barbie into my project, so my sister Flora will enjoy watching my project.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our last episode of Job of Tomorrow series, web Facebook Live series. And today we are going to have the art director of All for One production, Geoffrey Sinn, to share with us dark side of digital media. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you will stay on until the end of the session, as our schedule for today is very packed, and there's a lot of content that we want to share with you, as well as two of our NASA challenge winner, Sun Yu as well as Wei Ri, will also be joining. So stay tuned, and I will be back. All right. Let's see. So, like I said, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. If you are in the live, do say hi, and so that I can interact with you. And so, before we start today's session, what I wanted to do is to recap on what we have done so far for the past 2 months. As you can see from this slide here, including today, we have 9 sessions, with different topics, from digital media, from Industry Revolution 4.0, from digital and project management, data. We talk about data, and one of the also very interesting topic, which a lot of you like it. Can I be a hacker? Right, from Francis, and also we talk about game production and gamification. We have Kenny from Gameka share with us, as well as Hilmi. Then I've also invited Joy from China, right, to share with us a life in the digitization in China. So everything is sort of digital, right? So for any one of you, if you miss those sessions, you can always go back to our YouTube channel or Facebook page to rewatch some of this series. And for those who watch most of them or all of them, or at least some of them, again, thank you very much for supporting us. And a question that I would like to pose to all of you is that which one you like the best, right? Which session and which topic that you like the best itself. And I forgot to introduce myself, and I am teacher Theo. I'm also the founder as well as director of Real Fun Learning Center. So we teach coding for children to help prepare them for the future. And the reason why I do this live is one of it is to showcase what the students have created. They have a lot of awesome projects, and I want to use this opportunity to show it to all of you here, and be proud of them. So that's one. And the second is really to invite the leaders from the emerging professions to share with you the skills and the mindset, the behavior that we have in order for us to be successful, especially in some of these areas that is growing in demand, especially in terms of jobs. So again, the question to all of you: which one do you like the best, right? Which topic? If you join some of this session, which one of it that you feel like you really learn a lot, and which one is the best? And I'll give you some time to think about it while I play this highlight, just to recap on the past few sessions.
You can be a hacker and you can be an authorized hacker. They are certification, they are courses that teach you how to be an ethical hacker.
不见得说啊，我现在去学了这个编程，我接下来就一定要做 developer， 这肯定不是的。
If you understand what people want and how you get what you give what people want, and you have your programming skills, then basically you're an all-rounder.
Well, Chicken Warrior is my creation. I created him, and it was the inspiration of Goku and Mario.
Barbie is one of my sister's favorite dolls. I want to put Barbie into my project, so my sister Flora will enjoy watching my project.
All right. So, which one do you like the best, right? Which one do you like the best out of all the 8 that we have done so far? A big shout out to Madam Sim and Zoe for supporting us for all our 8 sessions, and see you in all our live, and really thank you very much for supporting us. And also good evening, Madam Chang, Sen Yu's mother, and also good evening to Louisa. Thank you for joining. So feel free to put in your favorite session in our comment section and let us know, so that hopefully in the future we will have also similar kind of a session, and then we can improve further. Now, back to today. So today, our topic is dark side of digital media. But before we go into the dark side of, the reason for this topic is to look at this industry in the different perspective, where a lot of time when we look at news, it's all about the happy stuff, the sexy stuff, but seldom we hear the challenges and the difficulties that they are facing, especially those in the industry itself. And that's why I want to invite Geoffrey to share with us on his experience and his journey, right, up to today, from the start up to today as an art director of All for One production, right? What's the challenges and difficulties that he can share with us? And also another question that I want to also check with all of you, perhaps you guys can make a guess. All of you can make a guess. What can you list down the titles or the name of the series, animated series, that is in Netflix? So I think most of us know what is Netflix, although I didn't subscribe it, but so at least Netflix is a streaming service where you can watch all this streaming, all these series and movies and whatnot. So what do you think, like which are the animated series that are listed in Netflix are produced by Malaysian company, right? Or you can make a guess, like how many of them, if you can list them down, even better, right? What are the movies, the animated movies, animated series that are actually produced by Malaysian company that is aired or streamed in Netflix? Okay, so if you have any idea, do put into the comment section, so that we can have a bit more interaction. Otherwise, it's just me talking here, and there's not much of interaction with you. So I hope I will get some questions and interactions, and a lot more lively with on this session. So that is the question itself. What is list down the animated series that are shown on Netflix, which are made by Malaysian company, right? I can give you one of it that I can think of is like Upin Ipin, right? I believe this is one of the popular one that most of us Malaysian know, produced by Malaysian company. What other animated series do you think is produced by Malaysian company? Perhaps I think remember there's one more, Didi and Friends, which is quite popular one. My son was watching it a few years ago. Not nowadays, not so much. He always watched Minecraft, people playing Minecraft, so that's what he liked at the moment. But so share with us, what do you think, and what are some of the animated series? Okay, I don't see anything, so let me just double check whether my comment is working, because sometimes it's a bit laggy. So let me reload and see. Comments. Okay, seems like it's correct. So come on, guys, give me some give me some response. Not getting any comments from you all. Come on, have some interactions. No Netflix, only Astro. So on Astro, right? On Astro, what do you think? Perhaps you can list down, just on top of your head, what are some of the animated series that you can think of? Yeah. So while you are thinking about the name or the title of it, let me first welcome our first guest of the day, Wei Ray, to join us and share with us his creation, his project. Yeah. So Wei Ray, welcome. Let's turn on your video. Are you there, Wei Ray? Okay, you are here, but I'm not here. Just give me a minute. There's some technical technical difficulty here. Just give me a minute. Okay. All right, I think we should be up. Yep. So thank you for joining, Wei Ray. Maybe first introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Teng Wei Ray. I am 14 years old and I am studying at SM Peming. I started learning coding at 2018.
Yep. So yeah, 2018. I think it's right after your UPSR, right? So after you completed your UPSR, and we have a special program where you join us for this short course, 8 weeks, right? Complete one of the full course, complete one of our course in 8 weeks. So-called the 8-week challenge, or I think during that time was 10 weeks. I can't remember. So thank you very much for joining us, Wei Ray. And I heard that you just completed your exam yesterday. So hopefully you've done well with your exam. And especially we are doing remote learning, online learning for the past few months. So let me start with the first project. So tell Cody's story. Can you share with us what is this project about?
This is a short story about the Earth is invaded by alien and Cody finds Nemo for some help.
Okay, so it's kind of some kind of short story lah, right? So short animated story. And Cody, by the way, Cody, this person is the blue monster that you can see from a screen. And I noticed that the one of the reason why I want to show this is again, Wei Ray is also starting to design his own characters, right? I think you designed this turquoise character Nemo. I think you call it Nemo. And also, what else did you draw or design in this story?
I also have drawn the like UFO for the Nemo.
Okay. So you also created the UFO for Nemo in this case. So I hope you can reuse some of this character in your other projects as well. I think it's a signature that you can build on top of all different projects that you have. And one of the other reason why I like this project is the combination of colors and the composition is quite nice. I feel very calm and it's sort of just things gel well to me. So I quite like how the story is being designed. It's very detailed. So good job, Wei Rui. So let's have a look at your second one. Okay, so I see very colorful sort of a design there. Now, can you explain to us what is that about?
For this project, I have limitation to use only 20 blocks to create all kind of drawing. I decided to create this design because I like it to be colorful.
Okay, so indeed it's very, very colorful, and seeing that sort of a circle grow and shrink and grow and shrink is very good. And this constraint that you have, or the limitation, like you said, that you have for this is you have limited blocks. You cannot write too long of a code, and you only have that limited number of space for you to write, to create as creative as possible, as beautiful as possible. In fact, I have a lot more other projects related to this topic, draw in 20 blocks, that I want to share with all of you. I will post it on our Facebook and YouTube channel soon, so do follow our YouTube channel as well as Facebook channel, and to get the latest news on some of this project that I'm sharing with you. So good, thank you very much. And for this, how would you improve it? What else that you're gonna do with it?
This design is actually different from what I coded, but it ended up quite okay, so I just use this and
Okay. So it's kind of ended up here by mistake, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't designed in such a way, but somehow it put here and there, and oop, not too bad, right? So again, I mean, in coding, a lot of time we do trial and error, and in fact, trial and error help us a lot as well in making things work. So very good. So let me share the third project. I think today we have 3 projects.
Shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should. A spooky, scary skeleton.
All right, this is indeed very spooky music, but I like it. So tell us, what is this about?
This effect double, and it also has some physics engine and portal inside.
Okay, I'm not too sure whether is it because of my line or is it because of your internet. I didn't hear the first part that you were saying. What is the project about? Can you repeat?
this project is making similar like domino effect, and the ball will travel on place to the other place. It also
Mm.
has some physics engine and portal inside.
Okay, okay. So it's like you know, the little ball will go from one place to the other, you know, creating dominoes effect on other things, and then knock on them and hit on other things. And then I can see that you also mentioned there's a portal that you can teleport to different place. So I like this project a lot because again, the detail is there, and the whole color scheme it fits quite well with the theme, right? Halloween theme. And what is the most challenging and most difficult part when you do this?
I think the most challenging part is making the portal and teleport the ball to different places with the camera following the ball, and also the physics engine in the game made it more difficult.
Okay, so so it's more of coding the teleport or the portal where you can do teleportation, and okay, and also include the physics in there, all in all, right? Okay, okay,
Yes.
cool. Well, how will you improve this if you have time to even work on it? How what else that you're gonna add on or improve it?
I think I will add more stage
Okay.
and some like portal.
Okay. Add more portals, add more levels and
Uh,
different scene and different view.
uh,
Okay. All right. Good. So thank you very much, Ray, and for those who are listening in, all the audience, you know, do give Ray a lot of support by clicking on the like and the love at the bottom of the live there, because you know these are again very nice projects. I really want to show it to all of you, and I hope you guys also feel the same, and give him the support that he needs. So thank you very much, Wiri. I hope you know you have, I think next week we're gonna have holiday soon, so enjoy your weekend. So I'll see you again. Bye bye.
okay, bye.
All right, so that's for Wiri, which is our first guest today, and for our second guest, before we go to our second guest, just want to remind you know, today remind everyone that today's our topic is dark side of digital media, right? And one of the questions that I want to check with all of you is that, you know, when we come to animated series or movie, what comes into your mind, especially for those who have Netflix? How many of them are actually produced by Malaysian? And okay, let me just do a quick fix here. My video is freeze. Okay. What are the titles that you can think of when it comes to animated series? I think one of it, Boboboy. To me, another one, Didi and Friends. You know, for you, especially in if those of you who watch Netflix, go and scroll through it. Which one do you think is produced by Malaysian? Yeah, you will be surprised. Some of it that doesn't look so Malaysian, but it's actually produced by Malaysian. Yeah, so so that's the topic for today, and you know, put in your answer and your comment in the comment section so that we have a bit more interactions. Okay, guys. Okay, so next I will invite the other NASA coding challenge winner last year, Sen Yu, to join us and share with us his awesome projects. Okay, so Senyu, come. Let's come to let's turn on your camera and your mic. Just hold on. Let me see. Where is my thing? All right. Okay. Senyu, welcome.
Yes. Hi. Thank you.
Introduce yourself, please. Introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Hi everyone. I am Vincent Yu. I'm 12 years old. I study at SJKC Zhonghua Miri, and I started learning coding 2.5 years ago.
Okay. So Senyu, if I'm not mistaken, he joined somewhere around March. So about 6 months earlier than Wei Ri, yeah. But it's still it's also in 2018 when we first started. He's one of my very first student that I teach. So today, Senyu has 2 projects that he will be sharing with us, and I think it's a very nice memory, at least to me. With one of the project there. So let me share with you the project, the first project. All right. So happy Mother's Day, right? So I can see this is a Mother's Day project. So can you tell me about, what's the story of this whole project?
Okay. Sorry, teacher, did you ask me?
Yeah, the story. I mean, tell us the
about?
story. Yep.
Okay. I was trying to make a very twisty game, a very unexpected one, a little bit scary, I guess. So it started with me getting catched by a T-Rex, and my mom saw it and she said, my son, and she wanted to come and save me. But here's the unexpected part. The T-Rex ran away so fast. And after that, before the story ended, another surprise came. There's a present that floated up from below and to the middle of the stage. Yeah. So it's a little bit of like surprise for my mom.
Okay. So there's a lot of surprise and surprise. Yeah. A lot of surprise in this project. Now, so this is one of the very first project that you completed when you joined our coding class, and that was about two years plus ago. And I mean, in terms of this project, when you look back at this particular project, how do you feel, right? Why did I create this project during that? What sort of feeling do you have? How do you feel about this project?
Actually, looking back, I think this is a pretty cool project. If I did it now, I will maybe do it the same way. I think it's pretty interesting, pretty nice. But it's just that when I look back, I don't really know how to operate the story. It's part of a story and a game. You have to move the mother and press the present. So I think if I did it now, I will improve it, that it is easier to operate, easier to make the surprise, not press here, press there, just maybe press one space key and everything comes up. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, so the concept wise will stay the same, right? It's exactly what you want. Just that from a coding perspective, now that you learn a lot more ways to make this work, to make the whole story gel well together, and this is where you're going to modify it from a technical point of view on how things works and make it better in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So so again, it's a good memory to me, when I was teaching you on this project. So let's have a look at your second one. All right. So I see a lot of fishes, fishing. So what is this game about? And what is this game about? What is it about?
Oh, that day, that day in school, I just came across an idea. What if I make a very spooky game? A very in the dark, you have to search. You don't know what you're looking in front. You don't know what is in front game. It's a very dark, spooky game. So I think this is a pretty cool idea. So I thought about it more, and then I made this concept of a blinded fishing game because it's black and you can't see anything. So I call it a blinded fishing game. And when you're in the blinded condition, you have something to help you. That is the radar that is turning in front of the darkness. The radar senses everything that is happening in the water. So when the red dot appears, that means it knows there's something in front, and you can take the risk to press it. Just don't hook the bomb, otherwise, kaboom! It's game over. If you hook the fish, you get 1 point. Hook the plastic, -2 points. Leave, -1 point. And the bomb, kaboom.
Okay, all right. That's a very interesting game, and I think this is the latest one. So I think I purposely choose his very first project, compare with his very latest project, and see the difference between them. So with this game, all right. What is the most challenging part, you would say, to build this?
I think for me it's making the radar. I mean, I tried my best to make it as real as possible, make the animation good, make it really work like a radar. The radar is pretty hard, especially the red dot appearing part, because the red dot has to have the same position and direction with the spinning white line, and still have to appear. So I took a lot of time to make the red dot appear at the most precise place, but it's still not really perfect. Took me almost 1 day to make it, and 60 to 70% of my time is making sure that this is a really working radar. But at the end, still not really perfect.
Well, I mean, as usual, whenever we create programs, we create apps, we create games, there's always bugs, and we need to debug it. It's a process of continuous improvement. Taking out bugs and taking out bugs again and again, and introducing new features again, and taking out old bugs again. So which is normal, right? There's no perfect a game or perfect app that you will make. Or there will always be something that you need to fix. So I think you also mentioned that it took how long you make the game. I think that's quite cool. And think this is the last project that we want to show for today, as well as for the entire series. To end the students sharing with Sun Yu here. So before we let Sun Yu out, I do want to ask Sun Yu any words that you want to share with the audience, especially those who are listening, the children.
For few thoughts that I want to share with everyone. I think when we learn history, some history we learn about that language is a very important and very powerful skill. So same thing is with coding. It's a language. It's a very useful, powerful, and it's the language of the future. I think if we better learn this skill quickly, because if the robots really took over the world, we have to communicate with them. So we better find a language to communicate with them.
Cool. So indeed, we need to understand how it works, so that we can take control as well in terms of how we take control of it. So thank you very much, Sun Yu, for sharing that final thoughts. And I hope so this is your last year in primary school. There's a few more months before you move on to secondary school, so good luck with your coding journey from here onwards. I hope you will create more awesome projects as well. All right, thank you very much, Sun Yu.
Thank you. See you.
All right, so let's see, where am I now? So that's our last student sharing for our entire series, Job of Tomorrow, and I hope you all will like it. So the next guest in this case will be inviting Geoffrey to share with us the topic of the day, dark side of digital media. But before I invite him in, I would like to show you a compilation of the animated stories and movies that All for One production has made, and I think it's really, really great. So let's have a look at it. All right, welcome Geoffrey to this live session. Maybe you can introduce yourself first.
You all can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Geoffrey, coming from all the way from Sabah, Kota Kinabalu. Hope everyone is having a good night. So I started my career as an animator, 2D animator to be exact. And I've been working in this industry, I think it's more than 10 years, 15 years. And there are a lot of things to actually that I went through to get to what I am today. And today's topic is about the dark side of digital media. Sounds a little bit scary, but actually it's not. It's just some facts or some reality check on the industry itself. So because I'm in animation, that means I'll be focusing more on the animation side of things. But digital media itself covers a whole a very big area. So you have like digital films, you have motion graphics, even like the two brilliant students, what they've done just now, even though it's coding, but it also considered as digital media. So as long as it's digital and as long as it has visual or audio, that we consider it digital media, right? So, but in my case, because it's too much to talk about, I'll just focus on what I'm good at, which is more on animation. All right.
Okay. So you'll
And
be
now,
sharing your
thanks for
screen,
having
right?
me. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let me just share my slides just to check.
Yep, good.
Teacher, you all hear my? Can you hear me and see my slides?
Yep, I can hear and see. Yep.
Right. So once again, welcome to my sharing session. So specifically, just not to scare you all away, I'll be focusing on career in animation instead, like the whole dark side thingy, so that everyone is not thinking I'm telling some horror stories about the animation industry. So just to recap, I'm working in the animation industry, consider, and I'm currently running two companies together with my good friend Ken. All for One Productions is focusing on IP, meaning intellectual property, original content, and Studio Ace is a small company that we do service work for animation and comic production. So these are the two main things that we do. On top of that, we also do other service work like video production, photography, corporate videos, all sorts of digital media stuff. Of course, like I said, I'll just focus on the animation production today. So, right, just to make sure everyone is on the same page, I'm just going to go through some basics of what is animation. So, if I'm not sure whether you all came across these kind of like flip book, cute little animation going on here. So that's actually the concept of animation, where you draw a lot of drawings in sequence and in certain order on a stack of paper, one by one. And when you flip it, you have the illusion of that certain drawings or certain graphics are moving. So that is how we actually made animation. So back in the early days, before you have films and all that, right? Our great grandfathers or parents, those inventors actually invented a wheel like this, and then they draw like what you see here on the horse pictures, right? They have a sequence of the horse running, and then when you spin the wheel, as if you are looking at a running horse. So when things started to evolve further, they actually make a longer sequence by rolling up all the films, like what you see here in the right hand side, and roll them, and that's how you have all those old film, black and white old movies where things move and all that. So when the technology evolved, we started to have like digital media, like how we are doing all the videos and drawings and everything just goes digital without using any films right now. So talking more about the animation, actually, there are many kinds of different approach in animation. So I'm just going to touch on the three main kind of animation that we see more common. The first thing is the 2D animation, which is the most traditional and most long-lasting kind of approach in animation. So everything is drawn on paper previously, when there's no scanner and computer and everything, right? You just draw on paper in sequence. And the animators back then, they are very skillful. They need to there's no undo button like what we have now. So they need to make sure all the drawings are precise. And then they need to take a lot of reference, look at a lot of photos, Like this animator over here, he's making funny faces so that you can like really look at the mirror and try to interpret that into his drawing. So when they have drawn enough, and they'll do a line test by shooting all, use a camera to shoot all the drawings and roll them like a film. So the figure that you see here, it's what we call a pencil line test. So when they done with the coloring, the compositing and everything, this is something that you've seen, which is fully colored animation. So right now in the industry or in the market, you still see a lot of 2D animation, especially in Japan. There's still a lot of 2D, what we call anime and all that, still doing it. A lot of them still doing it traditionally, meaning started from pencil drawings and then scan in and then, but coloring nowadays are done digitally. There are still a lot of great animations, good animations are done in 2D. And then when we have technology advancements and when the more computing and processing power comes into play, we have this 3D animation. So 3D animation, basically, it's the concept of it. It's like doing puppetry in digital space where you control the character, like what you've seen here on the top left corner. You sort of like you move the character bit by bit, setting key poses, and then when you press play, the computer will calculate and process the in-betweens and start to move it. So the good thing about 3D animation is you can actually project the animation in different angles, like what you see on the right side here, right? You just need to do the animation once, and then you can get to render the animation in different angles. And you can set different kind of lighting, you can have different kind of colors, and you can make changes along the way, which is quite impossible in 2D. When you make a mistake or you want to change the eye color or the hair style or whatnot of the characters, you need to redraw everything again. But things are changing. There are more technology in play for 2D animation, which I will share more later on. And when there are more and more technology or the advancement, it become more consuming more processing power. We have all this kind of realistic simulation, like you see here, the Frozen clips from Frozen. If you can see the character's hair, right, it's actually what we call a hair simulation, where the computer actually simulate the gravity, the frictions of the air, and then how it bounces and all that. There are a lot of computing and programming going on at the back, where it helps the animators to create more realistic and believable animation. And then, of course, 3D animation also heavily used in the game industry nowadays. So when we talk about animation, it's not only about creating cartoons and all that. It's more on implementing the animation element in all kinds of media nowadays. So that's why we call it digital media, because it's all cross platforms and all that. So, and then we have this very whimsical, charming stop motion. So stop motion, it's very similar to 3D animation, but it's not done entirely digitally. It's like physical puppetry. You move the character a little bit, like what you see on this animator here. So animator is not necessarily all the animators are good. Needs to draw. Like this animator over here, he also animating. So the terms animator meaning bringing something to life. So he's trying to bring this character into life by moving it bit by bit and take a picture, moving it bit by bit, take a picture. And actually, imagine if you're looking at this doll as if it's really coming alive. So it involves a lot of physical work, including sculpting the character and then posing the character and doing physical lighting, like real world lighting instead of like digital lighting, like what we do in 3D animation. And it also gives a lot of opportunity for the animators or creators to experiment on different kind of materials. Like this fabric texture is actually done using, kneading kind of dolls and all that. So it actually gives you, stop motion gives you something like a magical touch of the animation, as if the doll is coming alive, the puppet is coming alive all by themselves. So these are the three main.
Curious on this, right? So you have the computer very digitally created 3D animation, 2D animation. Why would someone go to this stop motion kind of where I can imagine the effort required? It's tremendous. So
yes,
yeah.
So there's always something magical about stop motion or magical about 2D animation, because there's something that each of them can't do. For example, when we look at stop motion animation, right? The sets are real, the puppet are real. I mean, physically real, made. Like the house that you see here at the back here, right? No matter how realistic is the 3D animation, it still lacks a touch of the flaws of human touch. It can look a little bit too realistic or too polished when we look at 3D animation. But if you look at like stop motion, you always have this kind of feeling that it has the human touch in it. So I guess that's why still a lot of people like stop motions a lot. And of course, there are combination right now, like Studio Laika, where they do Studio Laika is one of the studios in Hollywood where they really focus on doing, stop motion animation. They combine stop motion with 3D visual effects to make their animation even more impressive. So right now, the line between different kinds of animations are blurring. So people try to experiment more. But what I'm sharing here is just the three main approach in animation.
Okay.
So another misconception about animation production is it's something like you can do it with one person or one man show, but actually animation it's not. It's teamwork. It involves a lot of communication. It involves a lot of organizing, management, and also it's a collective effort of the whole animation team. So let's take a look at generally what kind of people or what kind of roles that we have in the animation team. So these are just generals. There are still a lot more poses that I don't get to like put it in. If you really want to know like all kinds of roles, right, you can just watch any animation, Pixar, Disney or whatnot, and read all the credits at the back. Then you know how many people are actually involved in animation production. So all in all, we have this producer guy or lady who is in charge of kickstarting the project. So this producer, they'll go around talking to investors, talking to broadcasters, selling the show, selling the ideas. When they have enough support in terms of financial money or buyers and all that, then the producer will start to form a core team, which this core team will start to put things in motion. The way of kickstarting a project there's no certain fixed way of starting it, but sometimes the director can start the project instead of a producer. Sometimes it's an animator himself. So in a normal approach, the producers are the one that actually kickstart most of the things to enable the project to start. After that, we have this director. Director is someone that is very, we call a director a visionary, because the director, before the project even finish or even start, the director already has a vision in mind on how this animation series or animation movie will look like. So he'll use his vision to guide everyone in the team to make sure the outcome, the final completed animation is as close as possible to what he has in mind. And of course, to actually put the story or put the animation into words, we need someone like a script writer who are able to turn the director's vision into writing. And the script that is written will be distributed to the core team, where they will start to do the character design, the environment design, to build the world visually by doing a lot of drawings. And after that, the animation director, the art director will start to be called into the production and start to lead their teams in turning all these visuals into animations and background drawings and all the nice looking artworks. And of course, you have the artists themselves and also the animators who come in huge numbers to actually complete one episode of animation that you watch for like half an hour or less than that. Other posters like storyboard artists, character designers, concept artists, riggers, and technical director, all of them are just part of the team. So that's why I say it's very important to work as a team and communicate with each other. There are many different kind of departments where there are a lot of communication, involves a lot of communication. So something that is very relevant to coding or programming is that in the current animation industry, there are a lot of customized software development or customized programming happening in the industry that actually enable the animators or the artists to produce work faster or more efficient. So these are the roles for the technical directors or the riggers or even programmers, that they will actually custom build software or tools or extension for the animators to animate effectively. Like for example, the hair simulator, the clothes simulator, for 3D animation.
So I would imagine, with this type of role, if they have some knowledge and background on how animation is being created, will definitely help them in creating a better tools and program that can help the animator themselves.
Yes. So of course there are some programmers who are not from the animation background, but they would also need to learn a thing or two about animation production. They'll need to know the process. They'll need to know what's the challenges. They'll need to know what kind of problems that they are solving. So even though it's animation is kind of like very visual, right? You see things in pictures and all that, but what's happening at the back end, it's all about certain simulation going on that heavily relies on the software or the digital tools that the current animation studios that are using. So when we talk about the production process, right, we have, just like filmmaking, we have three main phases. The first phase is pre-production, where we have the script writer, the director, everyone sits together and brainstorm and talk about the story, design the characters, and develop the environment, the world that the story takes place. So when the pre-production is completed, then we'll kickstart the production phase, where the animators will start to do animations out of all the designs and the script, all the layout and all that. And during this process, there's also some programming or some development, tech development going on. There are a lot of try and errors and all that. When the IT department, when they build some tools, they'll hand it over to the animators to actually test it out and give feedback, and then amend and revise and all. So and after that, we have this post-production where we put everything together. The animators will provide the characters, the artists will provide the backgrounds. The lighting team, if you're doing 3D, the lighting team, they'll light up the whole scene. And then you have the rendering department, where they'll do the render settings and render everything into video or films format. And then the audio team or the music team, the composers, everything, they'll start to mix everything together. So all these three phases of productions is very labor intensive. So when we talk about the dark side of digital media, right? So it may look glorious in front of the screen when you see all these colorful characters bouncing around, like happy singing songs and all that. But behind the scene, there are a lot of tears and blood going on, sleepless night, technical problems, revisions and all that. So and it's quite stressful, even though you have a very huge team that working on this particular project, there are a lot of unforeseen circumstances that everyone are not prepared for. For example, a very simple miscommunication will result in a whole lot of changes and all that. Ultimately, will cause financial damage to the whole project. So when you hear news about certain animation is postponing their release date, or certain game or projects are being postponed, it's all because of all these miscommunication or technical barriers, and all those alignment problem between the core team and the production team and all that. So I'm going to share.
Go back to the production part, right? In terms of the cost of producing the animated series or movie, right? Which part of it that eat up the most cost? Pre-production or post?
I would say the production actually will take up most of the cost, because the production, out of all these three phases, right, the production is would normally take the longest, because let's say you have, for in our case, our experience of doing like 8-minute short films, right, there are 141 scenes or 141 shots which are distributed among the animators. So that's 8 minutes. If you do a 90-minute feature film, so you have around more than 1,000 scenes, and sometimes there are revision, sometimes there are inconsistency from one shot to another that leads to more revision and all that. So that's the most I believe that's the most cost incurring part in terms of animation production.
Okay. All right.
So just let me share with you what's actually happening behind the scene when we do our animation. So I have this clip of us doing the production for our short film.
Is there any sound from the video?
Yeah, it's some drum sound, but it's not important.
Okay.
So as you can see here, right, we are actually drawing using, some of us are using the display tablet where you actually can draw on the screen. The others, they are drawing using normal tablets like this one that you're seeing here. So when they've done all the drawing, we sort of like need to put them together. And this artist over here is doing some background painting. And then there are a lot of drawings repeatedly, line by line. So that's why it's very tedious and time consuming. As you can see, during the production period, our studio is packed with all the animators just diving into their production, their roles, and their assignments. And this is the sort of like the outcome of our work, a trailer that we have done for our series. Should I play it here?
I'll play it from my side. Okay.
Okay,
Let me
sure.
go ahead now. very, very cool trailer. So is it live already? I mean, as in done for this?
The trailer that you've seen is actually a proof of concept demo that we've done before we kickstart the official short film. And currently we are doing the full development for a TV series based on this trailer that you've seen just now. So it took us around 8 months to actually complete the development, the script, the character design, the whole world building stuff. So right now I'm going to share with you all how it looks from start to finish on the trailer that you've seen just now. As you can see here, right, on the top left corner is what we call animatic. An animatic is like animated comic book where you can actually tell how long is this certain shot, how long is this certain scene, where is this location, what characters are there. And then when you look at the keyframe drawings, that actually have more fluid animation where you can determine the timing of the animation. And then we have this character animation where we actually enhance and polish the stigma animation into characters like this. And then we proceed to clean up, coloring, and compile it with the backgrounds and put in music and put in some tone and lighting and all that. Then you can see this the final output, final product of our hard work. So the whole thing took us around 3 weeks from scratch to finish. So there are still a lot of roughness there. It's not like very polished. The purpose of doing this is actually for us to test whether how the characters will move, whether the concept is good enough and all that stuff. Right. So producing face by face is very important in terms of animation production, because you can't just dive right in and start to animate and color and all that, because if you made some mistake, it's all effort wasted. So that's why it's important for us to have face move from face to face, so that we make sure everything is all right before we sort of move on to the next one. It's similar to building a house. You need to have a very strong foundations, and then you put the pillars, and then you start to build the walls, and then you build another floor on top. You have to have a very good foundation and design of the building before you can even move on to building the real building itself. So this is a short progression. This actually is just focusing repeatedly. They should be very short, so don't blink. Yeah. So first we have this animatic. Like you see, it's just like short poses, and then we have this character animation. We color the characters and then put it together in the background. After that, we composite the camera movement and do some color grading so that it all blends together with the background. And there you go, we have one shot done. So we just need to repeat the process again another 140 times. Then we have our short film of 8 minutes and 43 seconds. So that's the whole process of doing, in a nutshell, of animation production. So that's all that I would like to cover in terms of animation production. So what's going to happen next is we can have some conversation, or you can ask some questions. I can share more about the life of an animator in general, or about having animation production or animation industry as your career path. So feel free to ask.
So I think the first question is that if I were to go into this sort of a field, what sort of a skill set I need to have? Considering like you've shown there, there are various roles within when doing this animation. what are some of the common things that we need to have?
Well, in animation, the most fundamental skill set is actually drawing skills. So it's just like learning the ABCs before you learn how to put together a sentence or write an essay and all that. So drawing skills, to me, it's the most fundamental thing when it comes to animation. It's not only about the ability to draw, it's actually more closer to the ability to visualize what you have in mind, your ideas, to actually deliver your vision, to actually communicate by using drawings and not just words. Because sometimes, like we all know, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So if you are able to communicate effectively using your drawings, so it'll be a lot more easier as an animator, because if you are able to draw, that means you also understand the structure or the how certain objects looks like, the anatomy of your human body, the muscle structure, everything. So if you're able to draw, that means you understand the whole subject matter as a whole. How does the apple look in this view? How does a cat look from the back and all that. So if you're able to draw, then it's easier for you to actually build it from there. So I would say the most important part is to actually be good in drawing.
So sort of really trying to putting your thoughts into drawing. Like I said, imagine how a cat will look like when it's at the back, and you have to think of it and then have to actually visualize have to somehow draw like this, right? So it's not actually the actual drawing itself, but really to turn your idea into something.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe I put it a little bit too bluntly, but actually there are also some good animators that can't draw at all, but they are able to actually animate or actually communicate effectively using other tools. Because right now you have you have a lot of digital animation tools where you don't really necessarily need to know how to draw. You can use a digital puppet to actually pose your character to actually express the emotion, or you can actually take a video of yourself acting out the dialogue or whatnot, and then use it as a reference for you to actually animate. But for me, because I'm more into hand-drawn animation, so to me personally, I mean, just take my word for it. It's just for me, my opinion. Being able to draw actually will liberate you in terms of you have the more freedom to express when there are no other tools available to you. Imagine you don't have your workstation with you, your laptop is out of battery, your phone is dying and all that. You only have a notebook, a sketchbook, or a pencil, and your director is sitting there looking at you, waiting for your for your cue to actually express your ideas, and that drawing is the only thing that you can do, right? So that's my take for the basic fundamental things that you need to know in terms of being an animator.
Okay. So is there really a demand? I mean, we are, at least for most of my audience, we are listening from Miri itself. Is a small town, and can we make a career out of it, right? Being an animator. And as I can see that you require a big team, but in general, is it there in Malaysia that what sort of a demand are we talking about?
Things are very, very different now. Things are it's totally different from like 10, 20 years ago, where animators are forced. I mean, if you were to go into the animation industry, take up animation as your career, you really need to go to where the industry is. For example, you need to maybe really go to Japan, maybe go to Hollywood, all the major studios, try your luck. and all that. But right now, you have YouTube, you have all the platforms, and then you have also there are a lot of tools that actually help you to make animation easily. Like the two students just now, they're actually making animation using coding without even actually need to draw. And platforms like YouTube actually already provide you with millions or billions of audience. So, but of course, when be more realistic in terms of income, in terms of sustaining, is not easy. Same as any other business. But for us, we are based in KK Sabah, but actually we are serving clients from overseas, like in Singapore, in US, sometimes in Europe or somewhere, where we take in part of the work, like part of the process. For us, it's more like into animation, doing animation itself, and we just complete the animation and just send it back through internet to our clients. So everything is done digitally. So the only limitation is our capacity and also the internet connectivity. Sometimes there are internet connection here, problem here and there, but that didn't really stop us, and I believe things will be more accessible in the very near future. So actually, our younger generation, the generation that come after us, will actually enjoy the fruits of labor of our current generation, where all the technology advancement and all that. So I can start to imagine that they're actually making content, making animation effectively, conveniently, using all the digital tools that are available to them. So maybe they just, there are also digital tools like facial capture or facial recognition, or motion capture by moving your arms and limbs and all that. So there are also some real-time avatar, digital avatar, where you have a sort of like a digital duplication of yourself, a mascot where you talk freely and all that, and then that mascot just mimic whatever you see on the camera. So maybe just like 5-10 years down the road, you start to see a new wave of animators or content creators that they are happening already, that they are producing a lot of great content, putting it up on YouTube, as like some like what we say, YouTubers and all that, right? But instead of like doing real live action videos, they are doing animation and all that. There are a lot of them already. So in terms of sustaining, is the matter of perseverance. It's a matter of how determined you are to join the industry. It's not necessary for you to actually join a company. It's not necessary for you to actually have a big team. But of course, you can do more with a team. But you can also do what you like, what you're passionate about, by just doing it all by yourself. There are pros and cons, but if you want the freedom of to actually do whatever you like, you can actually do it yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's well, there's plenty of tools that can get us started, creating tools, and we are not limited by physical locations and boundaries, and like you have shared, you deliver products and services to all over the world. I think that's a very good example of everything digital, where it doesn't matter where you are, as long as your work is good and you have the capability to deliver. People will look for you. So as I just conscious of time, just want to ask one last question before we close off. What can we do then now whether as an adult or for our next generation, what can we do now if we are interested to go into this area? What should we start learning? Just drawing, visualizing?
Well, YouTube is a good place to start. But of course, there are many other kind of approach and all that. But to start, I think rather than focusing on learn how to draw or learn software or learn all those digital tools of making animation, instead I would recommend for those that are interested to actually go to YouTube and learn how to do storytelling. Like the two students just now, what they're doing is actually storytelling, but it's just that their approach is using coding, turning it into animation to do a story and all that. And so storytelling is the fundamentals of everything, whether it's film, drama, TV series, animation, games, everything. So a good storyteller will be able to engage their audience regardless of what kind of medium or media that they're tackling. So even though you draw like Stickman, but if you have a good story, like people will just enjoy the whole story from start to end. I recall following a few comics that my friends share on Facebook that is drawn very terribly. I mean, it's very bad drawing. It's just like it's like kindergarten drawing. But I enjoy the story a lot. And I guess that's the most important thing, because storytelling, it's a form of communication. If you would like to express your thoughts and turn your ideas and share it with someone that you will target audience, or someone that you would like them to read or watch or hear your story, you have to make sure that you will be able to communicate your ideas effectively to actually stir up their interest. So there are a lot of good examples of storytelling done wrong. It's there are a lot of huge budget, super huge budget Hollywood movies where you see there are a lot of CGI, a lot of effects, explosion here and there. But at the end of the day, you don't really know what's the story about. Or maybe the next day when you wake up, you already forgot what's the story about, where in contrast, maybe you can still remember a cartoon or a film that you watched 10, 20 years ago. That's the difference between good story and bad story. So have a good story, or know how to tell a good story, then you can explore on all kinds of digital media, like what our topic. So digital media, right? So it's not only about animation, it's about telling a good story, effective story.
It can be animation, can be actual video itself, or all kinds of digital media, as long as the story is there. All right, good. I think we are at the end of the session, and really thank you very much, Geoffrey, for joining us and agreeing to doing this live and share your thoughts and experience with all the parents and children here. So I hope we'll get connect again in the future, and hope you will share more. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. All right. So there you go. That's our last guest, a special guest for the entire series, Job of Tomorrow. And for those who miss all our past session, do go back to our YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook page, to rewatch some of these life. Yeah. So those are very good content as well as very good sharing by the students themselves. I'm really proud of all the projects that the students have made, and I hope you are too. So before I close the session, I want to thank the team behind, especially during this live. Sharon, our live assistant, who has been helping me for all 9 lives total, as well as Renee, who helped record all these videos of students project. Thank you very much for the support for this live, as well as all the teachers, right? All the teachers who relentlessly nurture our student to create all this awesome project, right? So again, good job to the team who made this happen, and obviously all of you as well who up till now 9:30 is still with us watching this, all the audience, especially for those especially Zoe and Madam Sim who watch all this 9 episodes of it. Thank you very much for supporting us, and I hope you all can share it with your friends and family as well who are interested in some of this topic. Okay, so with this, let me just end the session with the highlights of our past few lives again, and thank you very much, and good night to all.
You can be a hacker and you can be an authorized hacker. There are certification, there are courses that teach you how to be an ethical hacker.
见得说我现在去学了这个编程，我接下来就一定要做 developer， 这个肯定不是的。
If you understand what people want and how you get what you give what people want, and you have your programming skills, then basically you're an all-rounder.
So Chicken Warrior is my creation. I created him, and it was the inspiration of Goku and Mario.
Barbie is one of my sister's favorite dolls. I want to put Barbie into my project, so my sister Flora will enjoy watching my project.